Welcome to Glorious Botafogo, your number one source of Botafogo news in English. The Alvinegro beat Internacional today at the Newton Santos Stadium by 1-0, with yet again another goal by Luiz Henrique, which again is the man of the match. It seems like Luiz Henrique has found his form, has found his place. He feels at home in Botafogo. Now he's able to show his best performances as he did against Palmeiras, as he did against Atlético Mineiro, as he did tonight against Internacional, and also was the debut of Igor Jesus for Botafogo. Igor started the match, caught a lot of people by surprise. Some people thought that Chiquinho Soares might have started the match, but instead it was Igor Jesus who showed a lot of heart. He tried to be involved, and he gave the pre-assist to Cuiabano. It was a beautiful pass. It was a beautiful play. Igor Jesus to Cuiabano. Cuiabano crossed it in. Luiz Henrique beating the defender, coming from behind the defender, getting a left foot shot in, and curving it inside the right side of Rocher's post and scoring the goal that gave Botafogo the win tonight. And a very important win because it guarantees us in first place until the end of the next round, which will be against São Paulo at the Morumbi Stadium. It will be the end of the first leg of the Brasileirão, which is very important. Botafogo finished in first in the first leg last year, and it'll be good again to finish in first. Of course, it doesn't mean that we're going to win the Brasileirão just because we finished first in the first leg, as we all know about last year, but it sends a message. It's like, wow, Botafogo once again finishing in first at the end of the first leg. They finished in first last year. Are they going to be fighting again just like they have been? Because if you put together last year and this year, Botafogo has been in first for a considerable amount of time. So that just adds more tension to the opposition when they're coming to play us. Like this team has been in first, for the year and a half, for 90% of the time in the Brasileirão. So it's good that Botafogo is keeping those results up, because we will need not only the confidence, we will need the opposition to feel pressured, the opposition to feel a little bit nervous, because if our goal is to win titles, then that's how we have to play, and that's how we have to keep going. So let's quickly talk about the players and their match ratings, because I posted those match ratings at the website. There's a blog post on the website, Botafogo beats Internacional, in which I put a player by player rating here on this list. Also, I wanted to point out that this is the fifth win in the Brasileirão in a row. So Botafogo has won 15 out of 15 points in these last matches. It is the third straight victory at home and the fourth straight clean sheet. So speaking of clean sheet, John had another amazing match today. He had an amazing save. He secured the result for us. To me, that's an 8 out of 10. Damian Suarez and Bastos, to me, had secure matches. 7 out of 10 for those guys. Barbosa was having a secure match, and then at the end, he kind of snoozed. He went to try to get closer to one of the midfielders from Internacional, but he left the guy behind him wide open. And the Internacional player made the pass, and it was a 1v1 breakaway against John. John came out of the goal, which forced the Internacional striker to try to chip it over. The guy did chip over, but he ended up missing the target. So Barbosa could have been the main cause of a tie there for Botafogo. Cuiabano had the assist, so 7.5 for him. Cheche and Danilo had good matches, 7 out of 10 for those guys. Junior Santos had a clear chance off the goal. He dribbled Rocher, but he took too long to shoot, and gave Mercado a chance to come on and slide tackle and clear the ball. Junior Santos should have scored that. It's a 1v1 situation. Junior Santos just hasn't been feeling confident, and it's showing in front of goal. And then not long after that, on the breakaway by himself, he injured himself. And usually when it's something like that, is a big injury. So let's hope it's nothing serious. Let's hope it's not an Achilles situation or some sort of knee or hamstring, because if that's the case, and he's going to be out for a long time, just like Eduardo. Eduardo got injured either last match or the match before that, and what was supposed to be a 1 month recovery time has now turned into possibly 3 to 6 months recovery time for Eduardo. It seems to be a very serious injury, which now raises the question, is that the end of Eduardo's time at Botafogo? Because by the time he recovers, most of the competitions are going to be over, and it might not be enough time for him to feel match ready and come back and play, because his contract is going to be up very, very soon. So it could be the last of Eduardo here at Botafogo, which is a shame because I really like the player. Savarino and Igor Jesus, to me, were both 7 out of 10. Again, Igor Jesus had the pre-assist, great debuts. Savarino makes a lot of good chances. He's very smart, and he can make a difference at any given time. So Savarino always has an extra it factor that can help us. Today, he didn't do anything too major, but he was pretty solid. So 7. Luiz Henrique, a 9 out of 10, man of the match. And then for the substitutes, Chiquinho, a 6, Gregory, a 7, Cauê, a 6, Marlon Freitas, a 6, and Marçal, a 7. Speaking of Marçal, I think Botafogo should also renew his contract, because if he's fit, he's top 3 best left backs in the Brasileirão. He had a tough time last year with the injuries. He's had a tough time with injuries this year, but it seems like Luiz Henrique is starting to get the rhythm, and it seems like he's pretty close to what his form was last year when Botafogo was at the very top, right? So that is it for this. Now, a bit of transfer news. Botafogo was really close to signing Matheus Martins, a former Fluminense striker, for 10 million euros, so about half the price that Luiz Henrique cost. Botafogo is right now talking to Udinese from Italy, trying to get the deal done. The Botafogo already sent the offer. The Italian club knows about it, and there's also bonuses for certain goals that the player will achieve. He's currently doing the preseason with the Italians, and he's just waiting the okay from his club to travel to Brazil. So between Botafogo and the player, everything is good to go. Last season, Matheus played for Watford in the 2nd division of the English Premier League, and he played 43 matches with 6 goals and 2 assists. So it's a young player that has not only a lot of potential because he's only 21 years old, but he has a high resale value. A guy like that has already played in Europe, especially such a young age, will have a high resale value. So it's a very good opportunity for Botafogo to sign such a young guy. And again, playing in Brazil, you see how Luiz Henrique was. At first he had some doubts about playing, but now he's in Brazil and he's completely at home again. So if Matheus Martins ends up being signed and it's official by the time the next video comes out, so welcome Matheus if that's the case. I hope it goes through because he's got a lot of potential. And this other name that we have talked about in the past before is a name that Arthur Jorge himself has turned into the Botafogo scouting department and got the approval of Botafogo scouting department, which is right back from Panathinaikos from Greece, and his name is Georgios Vagianidis. So it looks pretty out there signing from Botafogo. Kind of like, I'm not saying that it's the same thing, but it's kind of like a Nico Hamalainen, a player that we had no idea who he was, and then he just came to Botafogo. Hamalainen was a texture signing, but this is not a texture signing. This comes from Arthur Jorge himself and got the approval from the Botafogo scouting department, which is a great scouting department. So let's see. He's a young guy. He plays on the right side. He's a right back. Botafogo's pretty confident in the signing of the player, although the club is currently making it a little bit difficult to release it, but it seems like it's also going to be a new signing. Again, we have Damian Suarez, which is a great right back, but he's 36 years old. Who knows how long he has? Mateo Ponte, which is 21 years old and still pretty green. And then we have Rafael, which is retiring at the end of this season. This is the last season for Rafael. So they're going to be down to two right backs, Damian Suarez and Mateo Ponte. I see Damian Suarez playing for maybe one more season, playing next year. So if you get Giorgio coming in and playing in Brazil for a year, getting used to the culture, getting used to the language, getting used to playing here, with this how many games you're playing, so that when Damian Suarez is ready to leave, then he and Mateo Ponte can compete for the starting right back position. So interesting name. I don't know anything about the guy, so I cannot comment on Georgios from Greece. Botafogo plays São Paulo on Wednesday, which will finish the first leg of the Brasileirão, and then Cruzeiro Saturday. I believe it's next Saturday. Let me just check here for you real quick. Yes, July 27, next Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Botafogo and Cruzeiro will be the first match of the second leg of the Brasileirão. So that is all for today. If I got anything else, I will record another video. If not, see you until the next one.